Everyone loves a confident quarterback, and that's exactly what Devin Brown is.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Spring practice is here, baby. Day 2 of practice is today, and I'm looking forward to the end of this period where we get to watch the Buckeyes perform in the spring game. Welcome in, Buckeye fans, to a Thursday edition of Locked On Buckeyes here on Thursday, March 7th in the year 2024. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast, and this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. New customers join today, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. I am a person, and when it comes to this time of year, I am looking forward to watching the players in the spring game. Quarterbacks, running backs, offensive linemen, guys on defense, doesn't matter. I'm looking forward, just like you are, to watching these players play. All eyes, my 2 eyes, your 2 eyes, everybody's eyes are fixated on the quarterbacks. You got a newcomer in Will Howard, the Kansas State transfer. You got Devin Brown, Lincoln Kienholz, Julian Sand, Aaron Noland. Talented room. But when it comes to the guys that might play or are competing to play in the fall, it's really the top 2. But I can throw Lincoln Kienholz in there too as far as being a part of the Buckeyes quarterback competition. There's one guy, number 33, that's always going to stick out, mainly because of the number that he wears. He has to be confident while wearing that number, which he is. But number 2, he's confident just in general as a human being, and that's directly going to impact the Buckeyes quarterback competition. Now, some of you might say, Jay, there is no quarterback competition at Ohio State. And I'm going to say, why not? Why do you think that? What makes you think Ryan Day and Chip Kelly would not want these guys to compete? They haven't named a QB1 yet, maybe internally, but it definitely don't sound like that when I hear these quarterbacks talk. They're confident in what they provide. They're confident in their skill set. And Devin Brown is in a very interesting situation once again. For the second off season in a row, he is in a quarterback competition. But one thing that I do when I hear Devin Brown speak, his confidence is just there. It's evident. It's clear. And when you're a player on the Buckeyes football team that's on the offense, that may be one of the 10 players that plays with Brown when he's on the field, what do you want from your quarterback, your leader? You want him to be confident. Now, you also want him to be talented. That's not going to be erased from this equation. But one of the qualities you want from your QB1 or just a guy on the field that's playing quarterback, you want him to be confident. And that's going to impact this quarterback competition in a big way. Will Howard's new. He's not only learning the Buckeyes way of things, he's also learning Chip Kelly. But who's also learning Chip Kelly? Devin Brown. Who's also learning Chip Kelly? Lincoln Kienholz. Who's also learning Chip Kelly? The other quarterbacks and other players on the offense. Everybody's trying to figure out what Chip Kelly is going to do with the offense. Now, I've heard that it's going to be more up-tempo, which we have been calling for that for a long time here on this show as the Buckeyes play more up-tempo football. We're going to get it we're possibly going to get it this year. And I am oh so happy because I do believe Ryan Day's offenses perform better when it's up-tempo, but don't ask me why they haven't done that thing consistently, because that might be a whole show and a half, maybe 2 days of show, just exercising and letting some steam off about the frustrations with this team and all the talent that they have. But ultimately, the talent doesn't always put out all of the wins that you think that they should put out there. That's a conversation literally for another day. But the confidence of Devin Brown is going to help him in this battle, but also it could directly impact the other players that are in this room. I understand, and I have said it before, Will Howard transferred to Ohio State to start. That's no surprise. That's no shock. If it is a shock, cool. Newsflash. Will Howard transferred to Ohio State to start and to raise his draft stock. He was actually looking forward to potentially getting coached by Bill O'Brien, but B.O.B. is now at Boston College. Family is there, head coach there. Makes a lot of sense for him. So be it. More power to him. But Will Howard was looking forward to being coached by Bill O'Brien. You got Chip Kelly in, been around for a long time, took a massive pay cut. And I do want to know, and I'm kind of curious about how Devin Brown's going to work with Chip Kelly and if that's going to be a perfect marriage. And I'm saying this because this young man's confident. He even called out people that said, hey, at the end of spring, if he's not the starter, he's going to transfer. And I'm like, was that necessary? Now, I understand the question. The question that was there at the presser, and he was literally just responding to the question that was thrown his way. But one, why ask the question? Is that truly what you want to know? I mean, let him make his own decision. If he leaves, he leaves. If he stays, he stays. Who cares? Is it a big deal to the Buckeyes that they lose Devin Brown? Yeah, you lose a guy that's, well, he doesn't really have that much experience. So losing him, he has a little bit more experience than Lincoln Kidd holds and a little bit more experience than the two true freshmen. So is it really that big of a deal if he leaves? Yes, kind of. But he really ain't played. And when he was on the field, got hurt last year twice in two separate games, once against Purdue, once against Missouri in the Cotton Bowl. So, yeah, you don't want to lose him. But, man, you want your quarterback to be confident. And if he does end up transferring at the end of spring, if he says, hey, well, you guys are cowards for people that are saying he's going to transfer and you're in your mom's basement, like saying all this stuff. And I'm like, hey, man, you talking a good game for a guy that really hadn't done anything in college football. Hasn't done a thing. But hey, more power to you. If you want to call people out, call them cowards and all those things, great, so be it. But I don't think a lot of people would blame you if he ended up transferring at the end of spring if he was not the leader in the clubhouse. It wouldn't shock me at all. I mean, and even next year, what's to say if he doesn't start this year, that next year he's a surefire starter? Nothing at all. So say all the things you want to, Devin Brown, but hey, I don't really know if that's what you want to say, but that confidence, it's contagious. The other players see it. The other players see how he carries himself. And one thing with Devin Brown, it's the same thing that I had same feeling I had a year ago in the fall. Big Ten Network is doing their fall camp tour, going around to every Big Ten football fall camp practice to get a segment on them and just do their rounds, just trying to hype up and pump up the upcoming season. And last year, I believe it was Dave Revson of the Big Ten Network, main studio host there for the network. I believe he was the one interviewing both Devin Brown and Kyle McCord. And one thing came clear in that interview. Devin Brown's a very confident young man. Let's hope that confidence leads to a lot of amazing plays at Ohio State in the fall if he wins the QB1 battle. But if not, if he wins QB1 down the road, let's hope that confidence leads to some amazing plays in the shoe. And when the Buckeyes are wearing the scarlet and gray in any season, any game that he's playing in Columbus or as a Buckeye, I don't know if he's going to win the starting job. Honestly, right now, I would say the leader in the clubhouse is Will Howard. However, his confidence is contagious. And it's one that his teammates see. And let's see how confident that young man is when things get a little shaky or rocky during spring practice, a spring game, and etc. in the offseason, and especially if he does not win the QB1 tag once again. Coming up next, we'll dive into some position battles. We just touched on one. There's a few more position battles going on this year in the Buckeye spring practice. This episode is brought to you by eBay Motors, passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. This episode is also brought to you by our friends at Billiards Plus. Billiards Plus has the best selection of pool tables, game tables, shuffleboard tables, and more. And the best service in Central Ohio. Billiards Plus has more cues than anyone in Ohio. They can fix your billiards woes in their shop that is on site. They are truly the class of their field. Billiards Plus carries the best pool tables from Brunswick, Alhassan, Canada, Billiards, and more. They are family owned and operated, and when you talk to the staff at Billiards Plus, you know you're talking to an expert who won't steer you wrong. Billiards Plus has you covered for all your indoor and outdoor entertainment needs. Kenny, Sarah, and the whole entire staff will always go above and beyond to give you the best customer service in the industry. Billiards Plus, visit their showroom on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on the YouTube. And now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On Plus, our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV channels app, a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Position battles. Seems weird to some that the Buckeyes are having another battle at quarterback, but that's the way the cookie has crumbled. And that's not the only area where the Buckeyes are going to have position battles. And I have some that are here in my notebook. I got a few. Some of them might be in your notebook or in your phone or in your head as well. Why? Because we all want the Buckeyes to be the best team they could be in the fall. Put the best players on the field in the fall so they can accomplish every goal they have in the fall. Everything starts here. And we just talked about the quarterback competition. I still will say it again. Hey, right now it's Will Howard. And I'm going to touch more on Will Howard in the very next segment because not only is he a favorite topic of this show, he's a favorite topic of most Buckeye shows and of any writer or anybody that covers Ohio State or even nationally. Will Howard is going to get a lot of attention. So, to me right now, the hierarchy in my mind in this battle, Will Howard 1, Devin Brown 2, Keen holds 3. And based off the things that I heard from spring practice a couple days ago, Julian Sand is 4 and Aaron Nolan is 5. Now, you may want to say, Jay, why? I do believe I heard that Julian Sand was playing with the returning players during practice the other day, and when they split up, Aaron Nolan was with the newcomers. Like I understand it. I absolutely understand. Julian Sand was ranked higher as a recruit over Aaron Nolan. And if Aaron Nolan was the only quarterback here, I think the Buckeyes would still be fine with their quarterback recruiting for this cycle. So quarterback, that's that there. Another one I'm looking at right now, it's the offensive line, and it's 3 spots. Now, the 2 on the left side, left tackle Josh Simmons and left guard Donovan Jackson, I think those are easy. I think that those aren't going anywhere, and I don't think those guys will lose their jobs. Now, the other 3, center, right guard, right tackle. According to, I think this was Bill Landis on the podcast, he ended up saying that center on Tuesday in the first practice where the media was able to watch the practice, center was Carson Hinsman, right guard was Luke Montgomery, right tackle was Josh Schreier. Now, some of y'all might be saying, Jay, where was Seth McLaughlin with the 2s? Does that mean he's going to start in the fall? Or, well, doesn't mean he's going to be a backup in the fall? No, but that's just where things were on day one. Once again, that subject, that topic, that very thing, that very example will come up later in the show. So to me, when it comes to center, right guard, right tackle, I don't think Josh Fryer is going to be right tackle for Ohio State in the fall. It wouldn't shock me at all if you have Hinsman at center, McLaughlin at guard, or McLaughlin at center, Hinsman at guard, and then you have Luke Montgomery at right tackle. Don't lose sight on Tegrid Shabola, because I still believe he's a factor in this competition, and there's a realistic opportunity for that young man to play football as a starter in the fall. Now, he's going to have to play out of his mind in spring practice, in the spring game, out of his mind during summer workouts, out of his mind during fall camp to be able to do that. Josh Fryer has been at Ohio State for a very, very, very long time. Even though to me he was the weakest link on the Buckeyes offensive line last year, I still believe that, hey, he is going to have to work hard to get over Josh Fryer because of the tenure and the way that Ryan Day views Josh Fryer. He was also ruled an Iron Buckeye for his workouts. So he's doing something right in the eyes of the coaches to receive such an award right now at this point in the offseason. My big thing, though, McLaughlin's going to start. Is it center or is it guard? Has Hinsman done enough to not play? And I know there's going to be pushback when people hear me say Fryer was the weakest link last year on the offensive line. I wasn't really that upset with what Carson Hinsman did last year. I've heard people say that, hey, Hinsman was the weakest link. Did you see what happened on that right side of the offensive line? Did you see how sometimes the tackle on that side was not up to par? If you did, it wasn't Hinsman. Hinsman was a center. He ain't perfect, but it wasn't Hinsman's fault. So that's right there. I'm watching the offensive tackle, offensive guard, right guard spot, and the center spot. A couple others that I'm watching very, 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 very closely. Well, a few more. Running back. Is Henderson going to start or is Quinshawn Judkins? Because to me, based off what I have seen, Judkins should start over Henderson. And that's not saying Henderson's a bad player. But the times when he's playing a lot and when he starts, he does tend to get hurt. He's a little fragile, not the most durable running back that the Buckeyes have had. So, hey, put Judkins up there to start. And I do think overall he's a better running back overall. I know what the numbers say, but Henderson is more of a home run guy. We've all known that. I think Judkins is another one that you end up having to play at some point in time. But I do think right now Judkins 1, Henderson 2, and the last one's Hayden 3. I don't think Hayden's going to lose that third spot at all. Another one is tight end. Now, a lot of the newcomers at Ohio State, they were not with the ones, if guys you think are going to be projected starters during the first spring practice. McLaughlin was a backup. Who else was it? Will Howard was a backup. I believe Quinshawn Judkins was a backup. Here's another one. I'm missing somebody. Say it, but he's a true freshman. He's not gonna start. So a lot of the newcomers were not there. But one of the newcomers that was a starter on day one was Will Kazmarek at tight end. The other one, there was only two. The other one was Caleb Downs starting a safety, which if you put in with the twos, I mean, okay, cool. I get it, but bruh, do you really want to put one of your backups there and get – no, not at all. But for this one, G. Scott Jr. has been there for a while, Bennett Christian, Jelani Thurman. You got some guys that have been there for a while that you know what you're getting. But Will Kazmarek, to me, starter. He transferred to Ohio State to start automatically. No questions asked. No one's going to change it. He is starting. Another position group that I'm looking at as far as position battles during spring practice. So a lot of these will trickle into fall camp too. So this is not going to be the last time we had this conversation about the position battles in the Buckeyes offseason. At linebacker, Sonny Styles, will he start? Will he not start? He was with the twos also. He was another one that was with the twos on day one of spring practice. Cody Simon, TJ Hicks, those were the ones. I do see a scenario where it is TJ Hicks and Sonny Styles. And as Jeremy Birmingham keeps talking about Arvell Reese, is there a scenario that Reese, Hicks, and Styles play so well and get on the field so consistently that Cody Simon is not as athletic and not as versatile as the other ones, that he does not start consistently and loses playing time because, hey, he's solid, but he doesn't have everything that you want a Buckeye linebacker to have. the other three guys do possess that. So it's very up in the air. It's definitely something that we're going to be watching very, very closely. But those are the position battles that I have. I know it's a little tongue-tied during a portion of that segment of the show, but bear with me. There's a lot of good stuff, a lot of notes in my head and on the notebook, just trying to dump it all out on you here on the show. Coming up next, we'll dive into something that I have kind of titled, Don't Get Sidetracked, about some things that are going on at spring practice. We'll dive into that next on Locked On Buckeyes. This episode is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV. Fire TV is your destination for sports, from live games to highlights to in-depth analysis. Fire TV offers amazing viewing experiences with smart TVs as well as a Fire Stick that you can plug into your existing TV that provides access to millions of movies and TV episodes, as well as free and live TV. Whether it's opening weekend for baseball or the college basketball tournament, you're going to want to have a Fire TV. Fire TV recently created Fire TV channels to deliver a constant supply of the latest videos from your favorite sports brands, all for free. That includes all of us at Locked On and most of the big pro leagues and college conferences as well. Fire TV channels lets you dive into all the game analysis, highlights, and more to keep up to date on all the latest in the world of sports, March Madness, NBA, MLB, and lots more. Not to mention great news, entertainment, gaming, travel, cooking videos as well. Check out Fire TV channels on Fire TV and Alexa devices. If you haven't checked out Fire TV channels, you should. Trust me on this. To learn more, visit www.amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. Thank you for making Locked On Buckeyes your first listen every day. As we provide your team every day here on Locked On Buckeyes, there's some stuff in my head in regards to things that might happen in regards to some players that we all project to start, but weren't with the ones on the first day of practice. Now, this is being recorded before the second spring practice, so things may be a little bit different on Thursday's practice than they were on Monday's practice. However, there is a thought out there by some that when you hear someone say Caleb Downs was with the ones, great, cool. That you hear Will Kazmarek was with the ones as a starting tight end, great, cool. As you hear Judkins was with the twos, that's confusing. That you hear Will Howard was with the twos, that's confusing. When you hear Sonny Styles, who started last year for Buckeyes at safety, was with the twos, that's confusing. And you're maybe sitting here saying, Jay, whoa. We've been here all off season. A lot of stuff has been going on. And you're going to sit up here and tell me Judkins was with the twos and Will Howard was with the twos and Sonny Styles was with the twos and all the newcomers that are at Ohio State, the only ones that were with the ones on day one were Caleb Downs and Will Kazmarek. What are we doing? What is Ryan Day doing? And I'm sure some of you might be out there freaking out and saying, man, what is going on? Why aren't the best players with the ones on day one? This is Ryan Day's team. And this is how he's wanted to handle this transition for some of these players. For Kazmarek, buddy, I don't think G. Scott Jr. is going to start. I don't. But also, I think it's a confidence boost for Will Kazmarek. Caleb Downs, he's just too good. He's just way too good. Sonny Styles, a new position. Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson, really, you can start either one and be fine, so it doesn't really matter. So, and Will Howard, I get it. I completely understand it. This is the way they want to handle the offseason. Great. It does not mean that the guys that are with the twos on day one will also be with the twos during week one of the upcoming season. It does not mean that. So I'm not going to get a little upset. I'm not going to lose any sleep. I am not going to pull any hair out of my head, and I don't really have much hair to pull out anyway. Also, looking forward to getting a haircut tomorrow, man. Look, sometimes my hair grows fast. Sometimes it grows slow. It's been a couple weeks, man. My hair, it's time. It is time for a haircut. Get this bad boy, get the beard lined up, trimmed up, looking all good and stuff. Got a big basketball game to cover on Saturday in the biggest high school basketball gym in the country. Hey, I'm looking forward to it. 9,000 plus fans will be packed inside Newcastle Fieldhouse, and I want to make sure that your boy looks good, looks right up top in the head. We got that fresh cut for our big game. It just makes a whole lot of sense. What also makes sense is how Ryan Day's handling the offseason. You guys know I've been very upset, very vocal about my frustrations, and they have not some have gone away, but a lot of them are still there. They're just more tame than they were at the beginning of the year. And with them being more tame now, maybe some of these are going to come back up here on the show. I am not going to lose no sleep, and I'm not mad at Ryan Day for not having the guys that are going to start week 1 as starters on day 1 of spring practice. Dog, that was a couple days ago. That was March the 5th. And I had to look at my calendar a couple times, the calendar at the bottom right of my computer to make sure I had the right date. That was March the 5th. The first game of the season is probably Labor Day weekend. Don't have it right in front of me off the top of the dome, so I'm not exactly sure. Probably Labor Day weekend. There's a lot of time between now and then. Things are going to be just fine. I'm excited for the Buckeyes. I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited for how Ryan Day is handling the offseason. And I'm going to tell you, don't get sidetracked. Don't see something and think, oh, that's how it's going to be. That's the end-all be-all. It is not. We have all made decisions. Then all of a sudden, a couple days later or a couple weeks later, maybe months later, you're able to change and alter the decision that you made. Recently watched Love is Blind with my wife. Yes, we watched that religiously when they come out. If we can't watch it that Wednesday, when the new episode comes out, we watch it the next day, or we try to find time to watch it all at one point in time. Young man on the show made a decision. He made the decision. He said, hey, I got this. Now, I do know down the road, he made it seem like he was going to alter that decision to make a different decision down the road. If he could, I don't think he's going to be able to. The good thing about Ryan Day here is he's making a decision now to not put these guys with the ones. He, unlike the young man on the television show, I don't think he's going to be able to have another chance to alter the decision that he made and to go back to someone that he said that he loved at the time. Ryan Day, he has the opportunity right in front of him to down the road change some decisions with the players on the field. Don't mess up. Like, Wilcast Mark is coming in to start, which tells me a lot about what Ryan Day thinks about the guys in that room. Will we see 12 personnel? Will it be 11 personnel? What type of personnel groupings will we see? Will it be 2 tight? Will it be 3 tight? What will we see? That's TBD. What also is TBD is when Ryan Day puts all the ones on the field in spring practice for the first time together. I don't know, man. Could be the spring game. My dad will be that late, but trust me, it will happen. Out of here, y'all, on a Thursday. One more day of shows left. I'm looking forward to it. I clipped a segment of a show that Jeff and I did. What was it? Last week's show. That's going to come up and hit you either on Saturday or Sunday in its own standalone portion. It was so good. I said, why not have that and clip that thing so everybody can enjoy that part of the show there on the YouTube? Well, how can you enjoy it or be notified when it goes up? Subscribe to the channel 1, Locked on Buckeyes there on the YouTube, but also hit that bell so you are notified every time a new video goes live. You can follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at jstevens07. You can send all of your emails to jstevens317@gmail.com. This has been Locked on Buckeyes here on a Thursday, Buckeye fans. We will see you next time.